Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football, continuing to take a look at the next week's slate. And we're going to the Big 12 as the Kansas Jayhawks head into Stillwater and play an Oklahoma State team that last week, about this time, I thought was straight up dead in the water. Like, this was a team that did not find it didn't have the right recipe at quarterback, couldn't throw the football, didn't really want to run the football. And then they come out Friday night and absolutely take it to a Kansas State team that I think is really good. The vibes around this program in Stillwater have to be feeling a little different. Now, they'll have a massive challenge on their hands against a Kansas team, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, that is truly one of the more dynamic offenses that you see across the country. Really excited to get into this matchup. Now, before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys. I have such a blast doing all these game breakdowns, giving you guys these picks, predictions. But the best part about it is all the support you guys have shown the boys. So if you do enjoy the content and consider subscribing to the channel. That's the best way to support the fellas. But more importantly, would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. I learned a ton from you guys. I love talking ball with you guys in the comment section. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And I have to start on this Kansas offensive side of the ball. I go out of my way on Saturdays to watch this Kansas offense and just try to learn what Coach Kotelnicki is doing to get the best out of this offense. And you go to the charts, and partly what I think makes this Kansas offense so special is that they run the football a lot, but they run the football everywhere on the field. Like, they want to get to the perimeter. They can run between the tackles. They do a really good job scheming up guys like Devin Neal and Daniel Highshaw in space, one-on-one with defenders. And a guy like Devin Neal, I mean, he's going to make the first person miss every single time. I think he's the best running back in the country when it comes to getting to the second level, slipping a tackle, and hitting the big play. You take a look at what the running backs are doing. 7.7 yards per carry for Devin. He's almost averaging a first down run every time he touches the ball. Daniel Highshaw, 6.9 yards per carry. They ran the football against UCF for 399 yards last Saturday. This is the most dynamic rushing attack that you see across the country, and they do it a lot, right? 63% of the time. Another thing that I was noticing, kind of diving in to this Kansas offense and just, again, trying to learn about what makes it so special. I want to know who grades out as some of their best run blockers. Yeah, the offensive line is doing a phenomenal job, but their tight ends and wide receivers blocking downfield, and you see this turn up on the film. Why does a 10-yard play go for 40 yards? Because these wide receivers are dogs blocking down the field. I think that's truly what makes this Kansas offense so special. Now, they want to run the football, right? 63% of these offensive snaps are rushing attacks, but they can throw the football too. And when you want to load the box, they can hit the explosive play. 67% completion percentage combined for Jalen Daniels and Jason Bean for 8.6 yards per pass. So it's a team that, yeah, we want to run the football, but when you want to load the box, we can hit the explosive play through the air too. They don't choose to just run the football because they can't throw the football. They're just really good at running it. And again, when they can throw it, if you want to try to take away that run, that's what partly makes this offense so special. And yes, are there concerns about Jalen Daniels and the injury? Kind of. And that's not me taking away anything from Jalen Daniels, but I think Jason Bean can do a lot of the same things that Jalen Daniels can do. And you look back at that UCF team, the UCF game, it didn't really skip a beat. And again, a tough loss against Texas, but that is one of the best defenses, especially in the front seven, that you'll see all year. Now, Oklahoma State, that was their best defensive performance that we saw. They forced 4 turnovers in that game. Will Howard went 15 of 34, 3 interceptions, only 150 yards. That secondary was sticky. The pass rush was really, really good. My biggest concern, I mean, we got to shout out like Nick Martin, Cam Epps. Like, those guys played phenomenal. Now, I bet on Kansas State and Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy in Stillwater. Probably not a great bet on my part, but they really showed out and played really good football against the Kansas State team that, again, was the Big 12 champs last year. It is a very quality football team. My one concern with this game, Oklahoma State still gave up a lot of yards on the ground to Kansas State, 220 yards total rushing, 5.5 yards per carry. That's probably the biggest story of this game, is can Kansas run the football against Oklahoma State? And if they can do that, it's going to be a long night for the Cowboys. But if they can take that away, like, they have a certain shot at beating the Kansas Jayhawks. Now, flipping sides of the ball, I think what makes this Kansas team in general a lot more dangerous than it was last year. This is not much new on the offensive side of the ball. They had a phenomenal offense last year. Their biggest struggle was the defense, specifically stopping the run. I mean, this was a team that, hey, what's the best way to stop this Kansas offense is just run the football, control the time possession, and not let Jalen Daniels and that Kansas offense have the football. They've been better. And you can see Coach Leipold taking steps at improving the playmaking, athleticism, size, and speed of this defense. A guy like Austin Booker, I mean, he just looks different. Kansas used to not really have those kind of guys on the defensive side of the ball, those game wreckers, those true playmakers on defense. They do now, and they're getting there. And I expect this unit to continue to improve, not only through this season, but the next couple of years as Coach Leipold continues to recruit and get those kind of players involved. I mean, they're getting after the passer extremely well. Again, Austin Booker, game wrecker, sacking the quarterback 9.6% of the time. That's top 20 in the country. My biggest concern, third down defense. They are one of the worst teams in the country at getting off the field on third down. If they can do a better job of that, those Kansas numbers on defense will start to look a lot better. Now, Oklahoma State on offense, we said it going in. And this is why I was so puzzled last year. Like, what is Oklahoma State's identity? I think they can run the football really well. They have a phenomenal running back in Ollie Gordon, but they want to throw the ball. And they were one of the least, they were one of dead last in terms of rushing attempts per game heading into that Kansas State team. What do? They give Ollie Gordon 21 carries. He goes 136 and a touchdown. They started running the football, and I think the biggest thing that I noticed is they're just getting the ball to their playmakers' hands. And sometimes on the offensive side of the ball in college football, it's not that confusing. Just get it to your playmakers and let the playmakers go make plays. And I thought that's what Oklahoma State did a lot better of a job of against Kansas State on Friday night. I think they got two really good wide receivers in Bray and Brennan Presley. And Alan Bowman, although I don't think he's an all-conference quarterback, at least they're going with a quarterback that gives that offense some continuity. The cycling in 3 quarterbacks per game is just not how you get it done at the college football level. I think Alan Bowman at least gives that offense a little bit more continuity here. Getting to the pick. Kansas coming in, I want to say this number's been bouncing around. Right now it's sitting at 3.5 points for the Kansas Jayhawks. Now, I made this mistake last week. Took Kansas State to cover 11.5 points on the road in Stillwater. They lost outright. All right, Friday night blackout, rowdy environment. I might make the same mistake again. Now, I am a lot higher on this Oklahoma State team after that performance against Kansas State, but I want to see it again, and I am extremely high on Kansas and what they're doing on both sides of the football, especially on the offense. I'm going to take Kansas. I think Oklahoma State continues to struggle to stop this Kansas rushing attack. They're able to put up points, and in a shootout kind of game, I don't know if Alan Bowman and this Oklahoma State offense can keep up. I like it a lot more if it gets inside of 3 points, so that is something to monitor. But this Kansas team, I'm a massive fan of what they can do. But again, Mike Gundy, he just wins games. It's not always pretty, but he's a winner. He's a proven winner. Excited for this one. This is going to be a really fun one. Appreciate you guys rocking with the boys again. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.